making this broadcast possible.
A win is a win. We're going to take it. We're going to get better from the mistakes and make sure that we are improving. Get by game for the Dallas Cowboys last night, defeating the undermanned Tennessee Titans. Now, at one point in time, it's fair to have concerns, but you just start giving credit to teams that are winning 12 games in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are one of those teams. The door is still slightly open for them to win in the NFC East if the Eagles will to slip up badly over the last two games. Potential return of Jalen Hurts. Should they bring him back before the playoffs? Before you get there, the Dallas Cowboys just had to go out there and handle their business. They did that last night. 27-13 win over the Tennessee Titans. And for the Cowboys, the defense, there's issues there. But it's a concern more Dak Prescott throwing two more interceptions. We were talking about just play a clean game. Go out there. You knew that you're going to be in control. It was a tight game for a while, but it never really felt like Tennessee was going to have their moment to take over that game where it really was ever in doubt for the Dallas Cowboys. But the one concern, are you more concerned with the defense or the fact that Dak Prescott just keeps turning the football over? 14 interceptions for Dak Prescott. He hasn't played every game this season. If you remember the Cooper Rush experience, that happened this year. That was something that happened in 2022. But for the Dallas Cowboys, handle your business. You win, you move on. You got 12 of those suckers now in the win column this season. But what concerns you more? Dak Prescott in the interceptions or defensively when you start matching them up against NFC opponents? What it do, everyone? Welcome into the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. Your JJ Buck, A. Maria, quarterback Ned James with you for the final show of 2022. I was caught off guard a little bit last night. Everyone's leaving the pit. Women's game, everyone's like, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. I'm like, all right, oh, yeah. That's the thing that's happening this weekend as well. But good morning, everyone. And I'll throw that question out to y'all. You're a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you're looking at this team in the postseason, what worries you more, the defense or the Dak Prescott interceptions?
It's not the Dak Prescott interceptions. You just win a game any way you can win them. They're tough to win. How you win them, it doesn't necessarily matter. This was a road win for the Dallas Cowboys. It's tough to win on the road. They were able to eke a win out. However you do it, you do it. It's late in the season. This is a confident team. People are concerned about Dak Prescott. This time of year, guys are banged up. Their Pollard didn't play. There's guys that are just trying to, get through the season to get to the playoffs. So anytime you can win a game, it's a positive. They flew around. They played hard. They played against the aerospace engineer on offense, the quarterback Dobbs, a UT grad who's from, played at the University of Tennessee, and then he gets, I guess a week or so ago, he signs with the Titans, and they force him into play because the rookie is just struggling. I knew it'd be a tough game for a rookie. Vrabel made the decision to bench the rookie and play a more seasoned veteran, a guy who's been a backup, journeyman quarterback, and so it was fortunate for Dallas because here's a guy who's only been there a week, and not everybody can be Baker Mayfield and just make miracles happen. So it was unfortunate. They played behind the eight ball the whole time. Dobbs just really never had a really good grasp on this offense and getting this offense moving, and not having Derrick Henry in there really hurt him as well. But hats off to Dallas. 12 wins. That's a lot of wins. Tough to get that many wins in the NFL. They've done a great job to get to this point. It's a lot to be optimistic about, but at the same time, you just have to understand that these things happen, and Dak's going to have to get in there, win a playoff game, and then take this team a little deeper in the playoffs before he gets a little more respect from the people in Dallas.
So 14 interceptions in 11 games for Dak Prescott this season. Amory, what are you worried about? Is it the interceptions? or is it the defense for the Cowboys when we're talking about them against NFC playoff teams and what they would be facing in that situation, as opposed to a Titans team that really they were punting on last night and putting all their eggs in that Week 18 basket against the Jaguars.
Well, you said it perfectly when you opened. A win is a win. That's a win is a win. I don't care how you win, and especially in December football. But I'm more concerned. You can't turn over the ball 3 times in general. And I know all these stats are coming out about Dak, like he's had the most interceptions now, and he missed a couple games. And I still believe Dak can overcome that. I just think, and I think Kirk Cousins has the same narrative along with Dak Prescott, is they're waiting for Dak Prescott to choke. They're waiting for him to choke. But hats off to them for winning 12 games. That just doesn't happen, and it's come from both sides of the ball. So I'm more concerned. I'm actually more concerned about their defense. I have faith in Dak that he'll finally change this narrative. I hope he does, because it sucks. It sucks having this ongoing narrative. Hopefully he can go further in the playoffs. I can't believe I'm saying that, but anyways,
So, but it's and
I'm more concerned about their defense. This monster defense that started over. They're giving up huge plays. I don't care if it's the Eagles or the Titans practice squad. They're giving up big plays, and then it takes a really good quarterback. If your defense isn't doing well, what does it take? It takes the other side of the ball to get the job done. So do I think Dak can do it? Yeah, but you can't turn over the ball 3 times. I'm more concerned about the Dallas defense, though, at this point.
It's a really interesting conversation when you look at the Cowboys and Vikings, because they're like on the similar path in terms of conversations about the quarterback play, the issues that we've seen defensively. So Kirk Cousins and an offense has had to play at such a high level to overcome some things in the game. We just saw it last week with what Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys offense was able to do in a game that the Eagles defense is still pretty good.
They have one of the best
And they
pass
scored
rush.
40 points
I think they have the best pass rush in the league
on that team.
Yeah, Dallas has that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm more concerned about their defense. I know people just love focusing on the quarterback. I'm sure Ned James knows this. Love for focusing on the quarterback. I'm not worried about Dak. I'm worried about the freaking defense.
And the one thing that it's like kind of the bend but don't break mentality for Dallas, they are plus 11 still in turnover ratio. So even with the interceptions at Dak Prescott, 14 and 11 games, as a team, they're still plus 11. And that's a way that you can overcome giving up some yards, giving up some points, if you're able to create turnovers.
Yeah, and turnovers are going to be key, down the stretch here. And going into the playoffs, you don't want to be a team that's undisciplined, that's giving up the ball. You got to protect the ball. And that's something that, Dallas is definitely going to be looking at. But, the relationship between Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, to me, is still the bigger issue. I've said this since McCarthy got there. I just don't get a good feel for him and Dak. I know he's not the offensive coordinator. I know, Dak is working with, Ezekiel and some young receivers and those kind of things, some guys with some issues there. But at the same time, I really wish I had a better feel, because I really like McCarthy as a coach. I want to see more confidence in Dak. He just doesn't seem, and maybe that's just his personality, I don't know. He's a tough guy. I like McCarthy from that standpoint. I like this defense. They're playing well. They're playing, they're turning people over, so they're playing pretty well. It's just that relationship and that culture, that team revolves around McCarthy and Dak, and if those two can find a way to put it together to rally this team, I think they can go pretty deep in the playoffs. And last night just shows, they can overcome some things and still win a game, even though, Tennessee was down. And I know everybody's saying that they're putting all their eggs in one basket for this last game. But, guys they went out there to try to win the game. You try to win the game, and they just weren't fortunate enough to win it. But I still think that they're trying to win, and it's going to go down to the last week, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're still trying to win, but when you're not pushing through some things, like Derrick Henry wasn't pushing through, being a little banged up against the Cowboys, when you want to have him out there for the Jaguars, winner take all game for the AFC South in Week 18. For me, it would be the Dak Prescott interceptions, because that will sink you in the postseason. That will be one that it's too hard to overcome in that moment. So if you're looking at the Cowboys 12 wins, it's a good job, good effort game. Last night, you just find a way to get by on a short week, another Saturday, Thursday stretch for the Cowboys, and put a little bit of pressure on the Eagles. Now, the Eagles still have 2 opportunities to win one game to clinch the NFC East in the top seed. The door is just slightly open. For me, though, is Malik Willis done? Like, wouldn't
What
this
happened?
be a perfect game for your rookie quarterback? It's not all the pressure's on him. We don't have to win this game. It feels like Tennessee should be set up to be a system that a young quarterback can handle because they want to play power football. They want to run the football. They don't push it downfield. And yet, to your point, Ned, they bring in Josh Dobbs in a week over Malik Willis. Should you be concerned if you're Malik Willis and you don't get to play that game last night?
Well, Malik Willis has had his opportunities. He's a rookie. Apparently, they don't think he's quite ready yet. They don't trust him enough to put him in a game this late. He was a 4th overall draft pick. They don't lose a whole lot if they have to get rid of him. They have to bring another guy in next year. Those type of things. They have to make a decision on Tannehill as well. With young quarterbacks, you just have to be a little bit more patient. And some coaches aren't as patient. I mean, is he a guy that head coach Mike Vrabel believes in, or was he a guy that the former general manager Robinson believed in? You just don't know in organizations, who's making the call on the personnel and who's making the decisions on whether guys, are going to be around for a while, or if guys are just there because a particular person in the organization thought, it was necessary to have this person. So, it'll be interesting to see if they move on from him after a year, but he's still a rookie, and, you got to cut rookies a little bit of a break, especially in their first year. To bring a guy in on 8 days and play him, though, that's asking a lot, unless the offensive coordinator knew him and he's had some, he's worked with him in the system before and he knows him. Dobbs is a bright guy. I mean, being an aerospace engineer, so I mean, I'm sure he didn't have a problem picking up the offense, but it's just interesting that they would move him ahead of Willis in such a short period of time. But at the same time, they won a road. They lost a home game that had playoff ramifications. So I still thought they were trying to win the game. Willis there may be more of a problem with Willis than we thought. Is it a GM problem? Is it a head coach problem? We'll see.
And that's a good point because they did fire their GM midseason, the Tennessee Titans, and Malik Willis was a 3rd-round pick. It's not like we're talking someone that first, 2nd-round pick they invested a lot in. They brought him in maybe as insurance, and we're seeing they needed some of that insurance right now. Ryan Tannehill on the IR. He's done for the rest of the season. That's why Malik Willis is playing. That's why they're showing Josh Dobbs out there, and that's why Tennessee Titans could be looking for a new quarterback in the offseason. And the playoff races are upon us. There's major games, but you're still looking at one of the biggest storylines, and it's a quarterback that's not playing. And could he be the quarterback starting for the Tennessee Titans next season? Is Derek Carr Matthew Stafford 2.0? We'll get into that next. Our quarterback, Ned James Amory, JJ Buck with you here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
How wrestling really works.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air
So the Las Vegas Raiders bench Derek Carr. No surprise, because Mark Davis is not firing Josh McDaniels. Not admitting a mistake there. There's some problem with the Raiders. When you have multiple blown double-digit second half of leads in a season, things haven't gone your way. But we know the first 2 places you start when it comes to a football team. It's the quarterback and it's a head coach. And, well, Derek Carr is just at the end of the line with the Raiders. But it's a tough situation. Derek Carr has he been perfect? No. Has he been great this season? I wouldn't say that. But Derek Carr has been a great Las Vegas Raider. Derek Carr has led that franchise to Henry Ruggs' situation where he was drunk, crashed his car and killed someone. The John Gruden situation And he has been the person that always stands there, that always answers questions after the end of the game, that takes it all. So Derek Carr is what you want out of your quarterback as a leader. Now it just comes down to performance. And the franchise, it felt like this should have been a team that could close those games. When you have a player like Max Crosby, that's a difference maker defensively. The Raiders missed too many opportunities for them to just run it right back last season. So it comes down to Derek Carr. And Derek Carr is on a list that it's tough to be on. And it's when we have these stats, sometimes it's funny like where you do the cutoff line for it to make sense. But the most losses by a starting quarterback in the first 9 NFL seasons since 1950. It wouldn't surprise you that Archie Manning is number 1 on that list, 83. The paper bag New Orleans Saints teams.
Yeah.
Derek Carr's number 2. That's 79 losses in his first 9 NFL seasons. Now, do you remember Norm Snead, Ned James?
Yes, I do.
Because I didn't. I had to Google that one. It's Norm Snead, and then it's Jeff George. So it's not a great list.
Oh, Jeff George.
Derek Carr is on. And it's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Murray, our quarterback. Ned James with you this morning. But it's Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford 2.0. If you are the Tennessee Titans, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Jets, I'll even throw the Miami Dolphins into that mix with the giant question marks with Tua and his health moving forward. Is he a plug-and-play quarterback that would be better than Jimmy Garoppolo this offseason for a team on the cusp of the playoffs?
Well, one of the things you have to always ask yourself is it the teacher or is it the pupil? Is it the environment or is it just this person can't learn? And so you have to look at where Derek Carr came from. I don't condone what John Gruden did, but he's arguably one of the best offensive coordinators in pro football. John Gruden. Now you get who's it? Josh? Is it McDaniels? Is that the name of the head coach? Yeah, at the Raiders now. Who's better, Gruden or McDaniels? Carr did play substantially better with that offense with Greg Olson and John Gruden, and now we've got Josh McDaniels. Now we know coming from the New England Cheaters that Belichick runs the show there. It doesn't matter who the coordinator is. He's had multiple coordinators and he's been successful on offense. And so we get this guy who's supposedly, the offense whisperer, and they're not productive offensively in Las Vegas with the Raiders. So, Derek Carr, is it fair to put him in the category of a loser? I don't know. The guy's been in the playoffs. Okay, he's had some successful teams there as a quarterback. Maybe not to the level of a Stafford first overall pick type guy, but at the same time he's been productive. And I hate to kind of just throw him into the junk pile because he's not really that bad a quarterback. He's not been spectacular either, but he's not that bad.
Would be a home run if you're the New York Jets. If you're the Tennessee Titans, for the way that you play football, they want to be physical teams, run the football, find a way to have a good defense, which, by the way, that's something the Titans haven't had this season. But Derek Carr is an upgrade over Mike White. Derek Carr is an upgrade over Ryan Tannehill. Yes, and Ryan Tannehill's won games. He's been a number 1 seed in the AFC, and we also saw him lose that game to the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, the Bengals also beat the Raiders last season. I think Derek Carr is in prime position to finish his career on a high note. Are they going to ask him to do the things that maybe Matthew Stafford did with the Rams offensively? Probably not. But you put Derek Carr on the Jets, the Titans, the Miami Dolphins, are you feeling better about those teams than even the Titans with Ryan Tannehill or the Dolphins with Tua? Who are you taking in that situation?
Well, of course you take Derek Carr. The issue I have with the Raiders is scared money doesn't make money, as the gamblers would say. They're scared that he gets hurt. They're on the hook for $30 million. Is that why you benched him? Did you bench him because you think the other guy can help you win?
Jarrett Stidham is not going to be better than Derek Carr.
I know. So do you play the games to win, or do you play the games because you want to save money? I mean, I know they talk about Davis not being one of the wealthier owners, but I mean, come on, really? Are you really trying to? Are you scared money? Are you just scared that he could get hurt and then we'll be on the hook for the money? So let's just not win and save some money. That's the issue in the NFL. You got to win games, and you could say, hey, okay, we're going to go and experiment with this guy the last 2 games. He can't be any worse than Derek Carr, the guy we're giving $30-something million to. He's going to be just as good as him, and we know that's not the case. So the Raiders are, to me, this is gonna last. This is gonna have lingering effects into even next season with this team, because it just goes to show you that maybe it's just not the player. Maybe it's the organization. When things like this happen, when you're trying not to win a game, and you're citing what sources are saying is that the money.
Yeah, and then to not just. But they're benching him because, as you said, they don't want to be on the hook for the money if he gets hurt, because they're ready to move on from him. But then also him stepping away from the team. This is a rough ending for Derek Carr, who's been the face of that franchise through thick and thin. That, yeah, it's still a performance-based business. We understand that. But this is a tough way for Derek Carr to go out, because for him to not just get benched but then step away, he's ready to move on. Like, Derek Carr ain't coming back to Vegas. And guess what? Someone's going to get a pretty good quarterback. And when Derek Carr lands in one of these situations, and when everyone's been screaming, we're sick of Derek Carr, we're sick of that, same thing happened with Matthew Stafford. Oh, what is it? A better roster? A better coach? Dude looks fantastic. That is what's happening with Derek Carr next year.
But is this a new trend? Is this like the Little League kid who comes to the game, he comes to his football game, he's been the starting quarterback the whole season in Little League, and all of a sudden the coach says, you know what, we're going to start little Johnny over here instead of you this week. And the kid leaves, and he says, I'm not coming back. I've been the starter all year. I'm going home. I'm going to tell my mommy you're not starting me anymore, and I'm going to go sit at home. You got him. You've got the guy down in Atlanta. What's the Mariota? He goes home.
Yeah,
I mean, are we going? Are the kids going home? What kind of lesson is this going to be a trend now? You don't start towards the end of the season and you just take your ball and go home. I mean, I'm just really, it's really a problem that the guys don't come and stay and support their team. What's that?
This doesn't feel like a Derek Carr move. So did they tell him to step away, or is this the first time we saw Derek Carr, as you said, kind of having that, all right, you're going to do this to me? Well, I'm not even going to be here to help out. And so
I've never heard of this before. I've never heard of guys just leaving. It's the darndest thing. This season with Mariota and Carr, the fact that, all of a sudden, hey, you're going to be benched, and all of a sudden we have to have you outside of the building. It's just unheard of. And I don't know if it's the culture of these clubs. I know the quarterbacks have a lot of power because they make so much money, but at the same time, I mean, what are you showing your other players on that team when you allow this kind of behavior or these kind of actions to take place within the organization? I don't know.
Who are you trusting more? Who has more receipts? The New York Jets, they've talked about it all season long. Robert Saleh said he's keeping receipts. Geno Smith, the revenge tour. And here we are with Geno Smith, Mike White, the New York Jets, the Seattle Seahawks, teams that we had zero belief in. They're fighting for a playoff spot. That's what the NFL does. It gives you a crazy storyline. So who are you buying this weekend? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Course and Paseo running smooth with easy travel times. Highways in the metro backup free with no major signals to report right now. Should be an
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so So you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
And back. Out of nowhere, Mike White comes the New York Jets' favorite quarterback, Geno Smith, and the Seattle Seahawks. What a season. Geno Smith, 27 touchdowns, and the highest completion rates in the NFL. Some unbelievable things happening. 2 7-8 teams battling for an AFC and NFC wildcard spot. The Jets are 1.5-point favorites at Seattle. Now, that ain't an easy place to play. That's not an easy road trip coast to coast for the New York Jets. But who does the clock strike midnight for? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Marie, our quarterback, Ned James, with you this morning. Right now, the Miami Dolphins 8-7. They're in a final spot. AFC wildcard race. There's only 1 wildcard spot open. Baltimore and the Chargers clinch the other 2. And you have the Giants, Washington, Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay, all in contention in the NFC for 2 spots. It's pretty simple. The Giants win, and they're in. The Commanders have a little bit of work to do. So Seattle, the Jets, these teams need a little bit of help, but it starts this weekend. And if I would have told you before the season started would get this excited about a Mike White, Geno Smith matchup, you ought to have said, you're crazy. But this is what the NFL brings us. And so I ask Marie, our quarterback, Ned James, who does the clock strike midnight on this weekend? Will Geno Smith or Mike White still be playing for the playoffs next week?
Well, one of the things I thought about when you gave these statistics on these offensive players is something I've been sounded like a broken record about for the last how many years? 5 years we've known each other, JJ. Is that offense sells tickets, defense wins games, special teams wins championships, and of course the New York Jets are going to be favored in this game because they have the better defense. It doesn't matter that Geno Smith is completing these passes at this rate of completion. The Jets defense is playing exceptionally well this year. Mike White, I don't even really think it's about the two quarterbacks that are both journeymen in this game. There's a reason why going from coast to coast, and it's tough in the NFL, but these guys are professionals to go coast to coast and win games and to win road games. But teams are favored for a reason. It's because these teams are put together in a way and constructed in a way that gives them an advantage. And defensively, that's what the New York Jets have been. They've been a defensive juggernaut this year. They're really tough defensively. The games that they've lost is because they've lacked offense of efficiency, in so much that they are turning the ball over. But if they can maintain their strength on defense, they should do okay in this game. Now, both teams are fighting for wild card berths, so I would give Seattle a little bit of advantage being at home because they're going to play a little bit harder because these guys really do want to be in the playoffs. But it's just tricky this time of year with these teams trying to get into the wild card picture this late in the year. So you just never know. I think the Giants and Washington are in the driver's seat here, but anything can happen these last couple weeks. But I do like the fact that the Jets are playing well on defense. I want to cheer for Seattle because the Geno Smith story, the redemption story, sounds good. But at the same time, I just know that, if you play good defense and your special teams are sound and tight and put together well, this time of year, you generally win with the good running game. So we'll see which team has that coming this week's game.
And the Seahawks, though, and I'm with you, Ned James. I've loved the Geno Smith story, but the Seahawks have just dropped off for me. Their defense is struggling. They started off really hot, and Geno Smith hasn't been the same. I think Mike White gives a confidence to the Jets, and the Jets defense is better than Seattle's defense right now. So it's a road game. So I do agree Seattle has the advantage, but they haven't had the advantage because they're not hot anymore. They've dropped off for me. Seattle's not. In September, they were great. In the beginning of October, but they've completely gone downhill from now on. So I just think it's Jets all day. Jets. And they've won, and they've kept them close. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No.
But I just have more faith in Mike White and the Jets right now. Geno's just fallen off a cliff, which makes me sad because I want him to be comeback player or whatever player of the year.
Probably still be the comeback player of the year.
He's in the Pro Bowl, right?
He's a Pro Bowl quarterback. And if you're looking at these wild card teams, the Jets would probably be the team you wouldn't want to have to play in a first round matchup because of that defense. Now, there's giant question marks. Teddy Bridgewater and the Miami Dolphins, with Tua's uncertainty, they have to play the New England Patriots this weekend, and that's a fascinating matchup because the Patriots are always going to make it difficult. Look what they did in the second half against Cincinnati last week. They fumbled in the red zone in the final minutes going in to score the go-ahead touchdown, and we know that they're always going to find a way. But it would be, the Jets, they have a confidence about them. They're talking about that they want to get into the playoffs and be, the defense that no one wants to play, and I tend to believe them because that's what's given them the edge. To Marie's point, at least with Mike White, the team just has different confidence that they can be more efficient offensively, that can be in some of these games. But this would be a marquee victory for a New York Jets team to go to 8-8 to win at Seattle, even with some of the deficiencies. But this is when you look at of needing who's going to step up. And Geno Smith has to play a clean game in this contest against a really good defense to give Seattle a chance. And I just think it's fascinating what that extra wild card has done. To give more teams that opportunity of being in the playoff race, and to sit here and be looking at Geno Smith versus Mike White. I know there's so much more to that, but that's wild. And it just, when we talk about these quarterbacks, you just never know the time or the situation that it is going to click. And for it to click this year for Geno Smith, it's been pretty unbelievable to watch.
Yeah, and it's fun because it makes the NFL just so much fun to watch during the holidays, because now you got these exciting bowl games in college, and you got these exciting playoff races in the NFL. And like you said, the New England situation is fascinating to me only because of the culture of that club. The fact that they've lost 2 games the way they've lost them, it speaks to the culture and environment in New England right now. I still think that this guy handles it. Bill Belichick handles it better than any coach in the NFL, bar none, when these kind of issues come up, because he basically just doesn't answer you. He just basically says, we just made a mistake, on to the next game. And it's just great. It's classic. Most guys would lose, be pulling their hair out if the last 2 games ended the way it ended for that team. But like you said, the Jets and New England, and these playoff races in the NFC with the wild card. I mean, it's what makes the NFL so exciting for so many people all around the country during this time of year.
Is that the play of 2022?
Yes.
The lateral to lose the game.
Yes. Yes.
Because the stiff arm, they don't give the stiff arm enough credit. The stiff arm on Mac Jones for the touchdown was classic, because he just catches the ball, turns around. Oh, it's the quarterback. Stiff. Take that with you. Have this sandwich. I'm going into the end zone to end the game. That's what was classic for me.
Chandler Jones said, though, after the game, he was like, you get a lot of guff if you get tackled by a quarterback, so he had to make sure that Mac Jones had to stay down. Mac Jones
He's right.
Mac Jones had no chance to tackle
Those defensive guys would have never let him live that down if he'd have let Mac Jones get him to the ground without some sort of, embarrassing hit on him or something. And it was just classic the way he just stiffed him and just like, what are you doing? You shouldn't even be trying to tackle me. Let me just throw you to the ground like I'm playing with my son, and let me go on into the end zone. So it has to be one of the better plays. And I just think that, it changed a little bit of how people thought of New England, because those kind of things never happen in that environment, in that culture of the New England cheaters, I call them. But I think Bill handles it better than anyone else. I'm curious to see if they make it into the playoffs, because if they make it into the playoffs, if New England makes it into the playoffs,
get blown out like they did last year.
He should get Coach of the Year. You got Mo and Joe being the offensive coordinator. Bill's telling people, hey, it doesn't matter. I run this ship. I run the culture. I'm the issue. It's not these other guys.
They might not be 7-8 football team. They might be a little bit better if they actually had a real-life offensive coordinator. If they called up Ned James, they might be in a better position instead of Bill Belichick.
But you have to give him credit for not having a coordinator and winning this many games in the NFL. You got to give him credit for that.
Well, I can't give him that much credit, because I think it'd be better if he actually had an offensive coach on that staff.
Yeah, But they don't, and they're still winning. And so that's the thing with me. I mean, even though they don't have one, it's like it doesn't matter. Look at Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels cannot do anything without Daddy around. Daddy is not with him. The guy can't get out of his own way in Las Vegas.
Except for Mark Davis. We all knew the Josh McDaniels story was that dude best.
That team went to the playoffs last year. That Raiders team went to the playoffs last year.
Courtesy of Brandon Staley. Speaking of coaches, there's a coach that left the Lobos, and I know it hurt Ned James, but there's a interesting connection when you go back and look at coaches leaving in New Mexico, because Ned James has done that before.
Don't get me started.
Took a job somewhere else, and Rocky Long took a job in Syracuse. So does Ned James have something to say to Rocky Long? Does Ned James have something to say? Hold up.
Okay.
Rocky. We'll tell you that next. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples is your one-stop destination for shipping supplies and services.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first.
Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fight's 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
The perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, another shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoingsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually happen. Oh, great.
H.A. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
and act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better.
I've been everywhere, man. Crossed to the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man, of travel. I've had my share, man. That is the Ned James story of his coaching career.
That's good. That's good.
From a graduate assistant to the JUCO ranks to NFL Europe to the NFL to college, the man's been everywhere. And he did spend some time at the University of New Mexico. And oh boy, Ned James, you might have some words for Rocky Long. It is the opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buckhammer, our quarterback, Ned James with you. So was it before the 98 season?
Yes.
So when Rocky came to the University of New Mexico,
yes,
become the head coach back in 1998.
I think he had been here a year already, so it's probably 99 season.
So yeah, 99.
Yeah.
Ned James bouncing around like, hey, I'm going to be assistant for the Lobos. Oh, but wait. The NFL came calling. And that NFL pension is real.
Yes, it is.
Ned James still had some time to put in the NFL. So Ned James goes from assistant coach at UNM to an assistant in the NFL. It's a right business move. But man, did Rocky
family move. Business and family.
Business and family move. But I guess Rocky Long, if you crossed him in the hallways, he might have something to say to Ned James. He's not too pleased with you deciding to go to the NFL. But here we are in 2022. Mr. Rocky Long decided to go to Syracuse.
Uh-oh. We got a problem. Houston, we have a problem here. Well, you know, when you get your flowers, it just depends on who gives out the flowers, who gets the bouquets, who gets the roses, dozen roses. It just seems certain people get their flowers a little bit earlier, I guess, and a little bit more than other people. And what JJ, you know, when you're with somebody for as long as we've been together, JJ, you kind of get all the stories. And JJ got the story of what happened when I left the University of New Mexico to go to the Tennessee Titans. It wasn't with the fanfare that Rocky's getting when he's going to Syracuse. He's going to my stomping ground, so I should call my cousins up in Syracuse and say, hey, go see this guy about leaving us our Lobos. The way he saw me leaving the Lobos and taking an NFL job, it wasn't pretty. You know, we're all happy, and people leave for a number of reasons. They leave for financial reasons. They leave for their family, and you want to wish them well. Rocky wasn't as gracious at sending me off as I guess Daddy is. Daddy's a little more emotionally tied to him, so I guess he's a little bit more gracious in the departure of Rocky to Syracuse than I was from Rocky, even though we had coached together and been around each other for a while. And so I think that's what JJ's alluding to, is the fact that Rocky's getting a little bit more of a pass. And I don't know if it's because, you know, people aren't angry, people aren't, you know, really regretting the fact that he's leaving, or you know, the fact that it's an emotional thing for the head coach that's there now, that someone is leaving the staff. He wasn't fired. He's going because of his family. He's going because of, you know, the financial windfall that he's gaining from going to Syracuse. But hey, you know, it just happens differently for different people, and so I understand that. And you know, you just move on. You know, I think Rocky does care a lot about the University of New Mexico. Fortunately, he's got an opportunity now to better himself and his family, and I'm sure that's why he's taken this opportunity. We wish him well. I don't like to hold grudges. I do not hold grudges. I'm a
Everyone's
graceful
happy now.
in departure. Yes.
There's been
Yes.
plenty of time since that moment back in 98, 99
Yes.
for you. But I do think there's a lot there in this Rocky Long story. It's an opportunity. He'll be a power conference coordinator again for him. He did have a connection with Dino Babers, so they knew each other a little bit. So it's not a complete unknown, him taking the Syracuse job. And I think there is a lot of factors that go into this. I think Rocky, he wanted to help Danny get established, and he did that. Danny Gonzalez, even without Rocky Long, is still a very good defensive coordinator. So Danny Gonzalez can slide into that role and probably call the defense if he wants to. And they'll go through the whole process of naming a defensive coordinator, adding to the staff as we go. But I also think that even when you're invested, and I think Rocky Long cares a lot about the University of New Mexico, he cares a lot about Albuquerque, you can see the writing on the wall. And if Lobos struggle, if they get out to a bad start next season, people are going to be saying, hey, Rocky, why don't you take over for Danny? And I don't think he wanted that either. And so we'll talk about this more, too. Rocky Long making the decision to move to Syracuse and how the Lobos move forward in this window that is starting to close on Danny Gonzalez, because they have to show something next season. They're losing some defensive talent. There's a whole lot of offensive questions. Still haven't officially named an offensive coordinator. So what is next for Lobo football? 505-246-0610, the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. A win is a win, but should you be concerned if you're the Dallas Cowboys? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Is the concern the defense or the turnovers? When you look ahead to a potential NFC playoff game, last night a win was a win. You handle your business on the road. 27-13 victory for the Cowboys, playing Joshua Dobbs, not Derrick Henry on the other side. And speaking of a defense that's struggling, that has been the Tennessee Titans this season. But 14 interceptions through 11 games for Dak Prescott. He's had his moments. Last week, Philadelphia, he was electric after throwing that early pick six. They put up 40 points. Cowboys can score points. But in the playoffs, you're more worried about Dak Prescott or that Dallas Cowboys defense. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A-Marie, our quarterback, Ned James with you. Final show of 2022. Where does the time go? It flies. Man, does it fly. Better than Dallas Cowboys, we won 12 games. That's impressive. It's not easy to do in this league. But the one thing for them is that defense, they force turnovers. They actually lead the league in turnover differential. They are plus 11.
Yeah.
Now, it's been a minute since that defense has had one of those games, but that's something that's a positive that can help you overcome not having a shutdown defense is creating some turnovers. So to me, if I'm going into the postseason, I'm more worried about the Dak Prescott turnovers as opposed to the Cowboys defense right now. But how are you feeling, Ned James, about where Dallas is in the final couple weeks?
Well, as long as Dak is playing decent and he and McCarthy are on the same page, I'm okay with Dallas. I'm more concerned with the running game. The running back, not Ezekiel Elliott, but the Pollard. Yeah, he's out, and I guess he'll come back once the playoffs or once they get, in a couple weeks or so, he'll be back. And so that and the defense just continually playing the way they're playing is what I'm more concerned of. I'm not as concerned with Dak and his issues. Just as long as he's able to find a way to manage the ball and quit turning the dang ball over. McCarthy and he have got to figure it out. I mean, those are the two guys. Those are the leaders of the ship. I'm okay with Dallas. I kind of like where they're sitting right now. It's not easy to win this many games. They've won a lot of games. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs, regardless of how you see them now and how Dak is playing. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens with McCarthy during this playoff run, because I do like this Dallas team, and I think they've got a lot going for them. Dak definitely has got to play better. He has won a playoff game, so he knows what to do once he gets into the postseason, which will help them. But it's the playoffs. It's the NFL. Anything can happen on any given Sunday. So it's hard to win games. It's even harder to win a playoff game. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, the time is now to pick it up for your teams, because we should not be sitting here on December 30th, with 2 weeks left in the NFL regular season, and say we trust Brock Purdy more than Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins at this point in time. But that's a conversation. Like, no one, people have zero hesitation on the San Francisco 49ers, and they have Brock Purdy at quarterback. It's a credit to how good that roster is overall.
Yeah, it's the defense.
Everyone defensively. So there's more pressure on, say, Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins in the playoffs because they have to make up for more. But that's what's happening, yo.
Yeah, it's just
trust Brock Purdy more right now.
And it's just because Kirk Cousins and Dak Prescott make more money than Purdy. That's all. That's the only difference. They're both the teams are playing really well on defense. San Francisco's playing well on defense. Minnesota's not as good on defense. They're not playing bad on defense. And that's what's giving these teams, kind of the edge. Purdy has been able to manage in a short period of time the offense. They've given him some easy reads. I think he's got an advantage. I think Mike Shanahan being in the building, helping Junior Shanahan, Kyle, with the offense, with the young quarterback helps. And so that's what's helped Purdy pretty much mature as the season's gone on. But in Minnesota and Dallas are playing really good on defense as well. It's just that San Francisco just has a juggernaut for his
The
defense.
best defense in the league.
Yeah,
and
so
helps Brock Purdy that he has the best tight end in the league in George Kittle. You might not, if you want to say, oh, what about Travis Kelce for my fantasy team? The best overall tight end in the NFL is George Kittle. And Brock Purdy is making sure he knows what routes George Kittle is running.
Yeah.
He's finding them the last couple weeks. 505-246-0610, the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. Edward, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Edward?
Hey, good morning, guys, and A-lister. It's nice to hear you guys' voices on the last show of 2022. Let me preface this call by saying I wish everybody goodwill and the best tidings and forthright things coming their way in 2023. I heard briefly, this is going to be briefly interactive with my main man, Edward, because I have a question for him. But I heard the consternation with Rocky Long, that story. And as Denzel Washington in the movie Malcolm X, hey, the chickens have come home to roost, my friend. So, for years, and I like it. By the way, I'm very proud of your career trajectory. You know you've forgotten more about football than most of us know, and I respect that, and I really like you. So for years, I've heard you come on and call the Patriots. I'm a Patriots guy since '78, since Jack Tatum laid out Darryl Stingley. And paralyzed him. I've been a fan since August of 1978. By the way, Darryl Stingley's grandson plays for the back. Great, is going to have a great career. I've heard you can call him Belichick and the cheaters, and it's funny. I love it. I think you should do more of it. In fact, I think you should put it on your epitaph. But let me share this with you. In your career coaching for the Titans, one question for you: would you say that if an individual has a poor character, would that permeate into other areas of their life? Like if they're a cheater in one capacity, would you say they're a cheater in another capacity?
I don't know. Football is separate from real life. This is people's jobs. I mean, generally when you're successful in your career, you're pretty successful in your personal life. So,
understood, and I agree with you because it does permeate. As a member of the Titans organization, whether you were there or not, Steve McNair, 2003, shared the NFL MVP with Peyton Manning, made it to the Super Bowl and almost won. Can you refresh our memory how Steve McNair died?
Well, it's a cautionary tale. The guy had some personal demons, and it's unfortunate that they came back to haunt him. So.
Yeah, and I'm not here to disparage him. He was a great career, probably a nice person. My point is, if you're fraudulent in one part of your life, it stands to reason that you might be fraudulent in other parts of your life. I'm not here to beat up on people that are deceased. Rest in peace and care to his family. But I just think with all this pain that Patriots caused you in that divisional game, that they beat you, and you've eloquently stated that, I'm giving you the key to success. Look within in 2023 to heal yourself from this pain. I'm joking with you a little bit because I love you, brother. But I just think what I tell people about even Brady with Deflategate, the fraudulent thing that was Deflategate, I just find it interesting that post-Deflategate, he's only been to 5 Super Bowls and won 4 of them, which is essentially Joe Montana's career. Not only that, he went to a new organization and completely changed the culture and threw 50 touchdowns to win the Super Bowl. So however people want to lay on this argument, that's fine. But I do enjoy your takes. Your stories are amazing. I know you're a Kelly guy, and I do trust you on Jared Goff. I think Goff should have made the Pro Bowl this year. One last question before I'll get off. In the 50-some Super Bowls that have been played, there's one quarterback that is not a premier pocket passer that has won the Super Bowl. And I'm not talking about Mahomes. Mahomes is a generational talent. Only one. And this individual was not a pocket passer, but he had to learn to be a pocket passer to win the Super Bowl. And you name that individual.
Steve Young.
Exactly, and that's why I respect you, my man. Have a great 2023. I enjoy everything you guys do, and thank you for letting me share my tale with you.
And let me respond real quickly to this New England cheater stuff. To Edward. First of all, I lost in the AFC Championship game to the Raiders. I mean, our record's probably like 2-3 against the New England Cheaters. Once the cheaters allocute, once the New England Cheaters and Bill Belichick say, hey, I apologize, we should not have cheated. Bill Belichick, hey, I take full responsibility, I should not have cheated. Tom the Cheater Brady says, hey, I should not have had these guys deflating footballs for $1,500, which is okay. We all make mistakes. We all have our personal demons. We all should learn from our mistakes. Once the New England Cheaters and Tom the Cheater Brady and Bill Belichick and all, Robert, Roxanne, you don't have to turn off the red light for my massage, Kraft, all these guys allocute and say, hey, look, I apologize for my mistakes. Then they will no longer be called these names. But until that mystical, magical day, they will be referred to as the New England Cheaters, Tom the Cheater Brady, and Bill Belichick. Because you have to allocute. You have to admit to your shortcomings. We all have shortcomings. But the fact that yes,
James still credits Bill Belichick, still calls him
the greatest coach
in the NFL, doing more with less at this point in time. So it's a battle. It's the honesty. It's the battle. And speaking of a battle, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow is done with y'all trying to say that they need to prove anything, that it's another test for them against the Buffalo Bills. Because you know who might need to prove something? Maybe teams against Cincinnati. It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to take.
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudal with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
Hey, Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe playing zone right now.
Fights 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot, they got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3's up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Hoinsberg. Picture perfect execution, ball that hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Spartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually happen. Oh, great.
H.J. Rivera.
I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better.
Joe Burrow's right. He said, we've beaten everybody. We know we can play against everybody. We've done it in the biggest of moments. Like I said, we're treating every game the same. We've played everybody the last 2 years. Monday Night Football is going to be popping. It's Bills, it's Bengals, and it matters because the number 1 seed in the AFC is on the line. And you got the golden triangle of quarterbacks in the AFC. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. And that conversation is real between those 3. And if you're Joe Burrow, you got nothing left to prove. These are primetime marquee matchups. And he is absolutely right. He's been to the Super Bowl. They won road playoff games last year to get there. The pressure's on the other teams. The Cincinnati's got the confidence. They have to go on the road, so be it. If you're looking at these AFC teams and say, all right, who needs home field advantage? It's kind of Kansas City. I think the Chiefs, if you put them up against Buffalo and Cincinnati, if you want to say that, all right, I'll take Patrick Mahomes over anyone else, that's fair. I think the defenses are better in Cincinnati. The defense is better in Buffalo. And if you're in the AFC, can you compete if your quarterback doesn't have superstar qualities right now. Because we'll find out what Justin Herbert has in store when he has to take his Chargers on the road. Lamar Jackson can come back healthy and be anywhere close to the explosive player he needs to be for that offense. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Marie, our quarterback, Ned James. And it's fascinating right now, Ned, looking at the top of the AFC, because these teams are really good and these quarterbacks are unbelievable right now.
Yeah, I heard what you just said about which team needs to have, the home field advantage, and I don't think it's really Kansas City. I would go, even though they don't have as good a defense as Cincinnati and Buffalo, I would say it's Buffalo, because you're going to be a little bit insecure in the fact that you haven't been to the show yet. I mean, Cincinnati's been to the show, and so has Kansas City, but Buffalo hasn't, and particularly with this team, with this staff and this quarterback. You would have thought that they won the Super Bowl last year, the way people talk about Buffalo this year, and so or they've been to a Super Bowl. But I just think when you're in the playoffs, it's so hard to win, regardless of your record, regardless of how well you've played during the year. Having the advantage of being at home really, really helps with your fans, with the crowd noise, all those kind of things that other teams have to prepare for. And I think Buffalo would need that advantage moving forward, because the slightest little hiccup that happens with them on the road, it's gonna be that doubt in their mind again, like, oh, here we go again. We just can't win the big one. So I think Buffalo, more so than any of the other teams, would need to have this home field advantage, need to be at home throughout the playoffs in order for them to be successful, more so than the other two, because they've proven that they can win on the road, and they can get to the big show. So we'll see what happens, but it'll be interesting to see as the season winds down who gets that advantage.
No, I do like that point, because we've seen Patrick Mahomes get it done. We've seen Joe Burrow get it done, and Buffalo's waiting to take that step to have a Super Bowl appearance with Josh Allen, because I still trust Patrick Mahomes in any place. Like, Patrick Mahomes home on the road, that dude's going to find a way to make the throw that's needed. And that's a good point on the Bills. They've had the fanfare, they've had the hype this season, so would they be the team that, of those three, would need home field advantage? And still, it matters, because if you're that number one seed, you're the only team that gets the bye. And with the expanded wild card format, the number one seed in each conference is the only team that gets that week, and then gets everything set up for them the rest of the way. It's home field plus the lowest remaining seed in the playoffs after that first round. 505-246-0610, a 377 Brewery hotline and text line. Brew and James, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good morning, guys. Happy New Year. I want to talk about the situation in Vegas. I'm a Raiders fan, and Josh McDaniels basically told Derek Carr not to come in the next 3 games or whatever, 2 games or whatever they got left, because they're going to reevaluate the backup quarterback. So anyway, basically they're probably going to bring in a new quarterback, but this has been done already. Cliff Kingsbury, brought in Tyler, whatever that guy's name, the little guy, and took out Josh Rosen. Obviously it didn't work, because Cliff Kingsbury is going to be fired at the end of the year. So the whole thing is, like, if I'm the Raiders management, I'm holding Josh McDaniels accountable for the whole thing, because basically this is his idea. Probably going to bring Jimmy G in, or probably going to bring in Tom Brady or whoever. If you're going to bring Tom Brady in, I mean, man, that's pretty sad, because he's 46 years old and he's on the downward side of his career. I mean, and then Jimmy G, man, he can't walk across the street without spraining his ankle or getting a sliver in his pinky toe or something. So, I mean, they did it already with Josh Rosen, and then Tyler Murray, he hasn't worked out. I mean, he can't stand in the pocket and throw. He has to go to the right or to the left and throw on the run, because he can't see over those 6'4" 7 linemen, defensive linemen. So, I mean, and then at the time, Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray's the greatest athlete in the world, better than so-and-so, and this and that and this and that. He hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out.
Well, yeah, it hasn't worked out so far. I'm taking Kyler Murray over Josh Rosen all day, every day. I'll take my chances with Kyler Murray moving forward over Josh Rosen. Bruin James, interesting point, though. He's holding Josh McDaniels, the management, accountable for the Las Vegas Raiders situation. We know the axe is either going to fall on the head coach or the quarterback, and it's a first-year coach that the owner loves, and so it's going to be Derek Carr that takes that hit. It's the weekend. You're going to party. It's New Year's. 2023 is here, and what do you need? You need pizza. What's your favorite type of pizza? All pizza. Mackenzie is here from Pizza 9 with today's sweet deal. For just $25, you get yourself a $50 gift certificate to Pizza 9 on our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Goes live at 9 a.m. Good morning, Mackenzie. And I know you guys got some, is it breaking news? Big time news you got to share this morning?
Yeah, so we actually just won Best Pizza for Best of the City for Albuquerque.
Best pizza in Albuquerque, Pizza 9. That is fantastic. And you guys have it covered. Whatever you want, the toppings, the styles, the best pizza in the city. You guys always hooking people up with the sweet deal. For just $25, you get the $50 gift certificate. And not only that, but you guys got pizza happy hours?
Yeah, so Monday through Thursday from 2 to 4, you can get any pizza, any size, 50% off.
Any pizza, any size, 50% off. It's the best pizza in the city, according to Albuquerque, the magazine. Go-to slice. What are you getting? It's happy hour. You need to fill yourself up. What are you going with?
I always go for the green chili stuffed crust.
Yes. Green chili stuffed crust. Doesn't it sound good, Ned? Don't you wish you were here for some green chili? You need to get back.
Yes, I do.
California.
I do.
Back here for Pizza 9.
I missed the green chili already. You're right.
Ned James needs his green chili pizza. We need it, Mackenzie, and there's locations everywhere, so people can get hooked up wherever they are.
Yeah, we have locations all across Albuquerque, New Mexico, but you can order online at pizza9.com for your New Year's party.
That is perfect. And Mackenzie, thank you so much. Always hooking us up with Pizza 9. You have yourself a happy New Year.
Thank
and
you.
Enjoy that weekend. Pizza 9 in the house. It's our sweet deal today. $25 get you $50 worth of the best pizza at Albuquerque, according to Albuquerque, the magazine. It goes live on our website at 9 a.m. sportsanimalabq.com. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Fantasy football team.
Pizza 9?
Pizza and playoffs.
That is so good.
Pizza and playoffs.
Thank you to the creativity of Pizza 9.
I love that. That's
I love
what
pizza.
Life needs pizza and playoffs. That's the name of my next podcast. Pizza and playoffs.
We still need to do our nachos podcast.
Yeah, we've been talking
JJ,
about
we've
that.
been talking about.
Oh yeah, nachos.
Yeah, we're gonna do a nachos tour.
Yeah, we got
Just food in general.
Yeah,
I just
that's like June, July.
I've got two sisters that are just great. I've put on probably 5 to 10 pounds since I've been back here. I've got to definitely get back to New Mexico. I'm just eating too much.
It's the season.
It's awful.
Getting puffy, but you're feeling good. Pizza and playoffs.
Really puffy.
That's what it's about this weekend. College football playoffs on deck tomorrow. Playoff spots on the line. And was it a fluke? Was week one a fluke? Green Bay Packers cornerback Jair Alexander, he thinks highly of Justin Jefferson, but he said, you've got to be real. He don't jump in no super suit and get dressed and jump outside. You hear me? I don't either. Sometimes he is human, is what I'm saying. We ain't putting too much on nobody.
He's a little confident too. He's waddling after he left Miami. Now he's chirping. I like it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
I just like learning the new hip language.
Yeah,
I learned "I'm sweet, I'm not sweet" by Jalen House the other day, and then now what is it? Jump into a super suit, like
Yeah, it's like top paid cornerback in the NFL, super suit.
yeah.
So Jefferson, 6 catches, 158 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the first half against the Packers when they forgot how to play defense, when their coverage wasn't geared to stopping one of the best receivers in the NFL.
Both these defenses struggle. The Packers defense and the Minnesota Vikings. The whole NFC North defenses give up a lot of yards, a lot of points. So
You know they have this new thing, this new defense called cat coverage. You know what cat coverage is?
No.
That's when you got that cat, I got that cat, you got that cat. That's how you cover guys. You just cover that cat.
No.
Cover that cat, man.
I was supposed to cover this cat. You're supposed to cover that cat.
Yeah, there you go.
Cat coverage in the NFL. But you fast forward to Week 17, Minnesota Vikings on the road. They're feeling good about themselves. They're going to the playoffs. But somehow, someway, the Green Bay Packers have clawed their way back in this conversation. They're 3.5-point home favorite. So this wouldn't be a bad loss for Minnesota because they're still going to the postseason. But it's still it's a rivalry game. You're on the road. Everyone's falling back in love with Aaron Rodgers. Everyone's telling you got Kirk Cousins and a bad defense.
Relax.
They still got something to prove, even at this point in the season.
It's always hard to go to Lambeau in December too. Oh. Yeah, but relax. That's what I'm gonna hear after the Packers win this week. But definitely, I think the Minnesota Vikings can afford a mulligan, but I think they should just keep on keeping it close games, keeping the blood pressure up till the last drive.
I don't know how you feel about the Vikings, Ned, but Amory and I, we've talked about this. Like, I'll take a team that wins close games. I'll take a team that knows how to come back in the second half. Is there an element of luck when you're 11-0 in one possession games this season? Yes, but you also have to be in position to take advantage of those opportunities. And I will take a team that knows how to win close games. And the time is now for the Minnesota Vikings when you look at the playoffs. Now, the Packers still need some help, and that help could come from the fact that Washington is now turning into Carson Wentz as their quarterback. And are they going to get some life out of him? Because Green Bay still has to jump.
They need a lot of
7
luck.
and 8
Yeah,
teams.
no, they need a lot of luck, and it's not easy teams to get over too.
The Giants are an 8-win team right now. They just need one win to clinch a playoff spot, and the Commanders, sitting there 7-1, and that's when a tie does help you, keeps you ahead of these 7 and 8 teams. But how you feeling about the Green Bay Packers and this Minnesota Vikings team with the Packers trying to play to get in the playoffs?
Well, this is a good opportunity for Minnesota to work on their run game. I mean, you've just got to be a good running team when you go into the playoffs. You're going to have to, defenses are going to they're going to tighten things up. It's going to be just a little bit tougher to score when you get into the playoffs. And I like this Minnesota. It doesn't matter how you win the games, as long as you win the game. And they've done a great job of winning games this year. And that's what you're supposed to do, is win the games. Your quarterback, people fall in love with these quarterbacks, and they think that, you just have to have a beautiful quarterback in order for you to win games. That's not necessarily the case. You're going to have to play defense at some point. Cincinnati, they've got the best okey doke of any team in the NFL, because everybody's just enamored with Joe Burrow, and the guy gets sacked and throws more interceptions than the law should allow, but yet they play really well on defense in Cincinnati. And so Minnesota's, they got to tighten up their defense. I'd like to see Devin Cook, the running back, run a little bit better, particularly this time of year and this kind of weather. Even though they may get a lot of games at home, but you just want to see their running game get tightened up. And with Green Bay, of course, the quarterback, he's making all the money, he's making all the commercials. Everybody's enamored with Aaron Rodgers. He keeps winning MVPs. You should win an MVP if you're getting $50 million a year at quarterback. So that it's just one of those things. You just have to let these teams let the whole season play out. Then the playoffs start, and that's when the real football begins, because you're playing against good teams. I mean, sure, you can throw up a lot of stats. Aaron can throw up a lot of stats, and they're supposedly have a good running game in Green Bay. But at the end of the day, you've got to win. You got to win, and Minnesota's found a way to win, and you have to find a way to win the game. That's what you play for, and so it'll be interesting to see Minnesota. Whether they win or lose, it doesn't matter. They just got to tune up their run game a little bit, and I think they'll be good.
It'll matter to your mentions.
It'll matter. It'll matter to the awful toxic that is Twitter of a dumpster fire. But the Packers also found a running game. Aaron Rodgers is starting to trust his receivers, and that's why people believe in the Packers again. Their defense is not that good, and Ned, you nailed it on the head. The chef needs to cook this weekend for the Minnesota Vikings to have success, because both these defenses aren't that great, and people just believe more in Aaron Rodgers than they do Kirk Cousins. But the Minnesota Vikings have way more weapons and a better offense than the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers just have Mr. Aaron Rodgers.
Mr. Relax.
And Mr. Relax over here, everything working in his favor with his voodoo.
Minnesota's playing a little bit better on defense than Green Bay, so
Absolutely.
I like their defense a little bit better than I like Green Bay, so it should be a good game.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And Lambeau in December is not fun ever. I don't know why people sounds awful.
Anywhere north of the Mason-Dixon line in December is not good.
you.
So it's
thank you.
it's wintertime, folks.
Yeah, anywhere.
Don't be surprised, people, when it gets cold in the winter.
Field, Lambeau, those are awful places to play in December and January.
Yeah, and New England's bad. New York's bad. All the East Coast is bad. So Northeast.
Awful.
And on that run game, should we be favoring the Carolina Panthers over the GOAT, Tom Brady, in a game that has playoff implications for the NFC South? Are we really talking Sam Darnold and the Panthers?
Yes.
On the road against the Buccaneers?
I would give them the benefit of the doubt, Carolina, if they weren't playing on the road. They're playing in Tampa, so it'll be tough to beat Tom the Cheater Brady in Tampa, for a playoff spot. So it's gonna be tough for them to win. And Carolina's playing well, but boy, it's tough. And Tom's old, but I mean it's still in Tampa, so that's gonna be a tough out.
Raymond James Stadium, one of the games of the weekend, the Buccaneers and Panthers, because that NFC South is still open. The NFC and AFC South, it don't matter where you are in the power rankings. What matters is you have an opportunity to go to the playoffs. It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your
Like Tiger, LeBron. We're celebrating birthdays today, by the way. LeBron James, 38 years old. Tiger Woods, 47 years old.
Wow.
One name status is different. Prince. Jordan. You've transcended whatever sport, career you're in. And one of those was Pele. Passes away at the age of 82. And when you talk about all-time greats and you put it on the list of where they rank, Pele's on that list because he transcended his sport. He became a world icon, a kid from Brazil, in a sport that was not a dominant force, especially the United States, at that time, was still gaining ground. And Pele became someone that everyone knew, that was in commercials. He's a 17-year-old kid scoring goals in the World Cup final. Unbelievable. And even if you're not a soccer fan, he is one of those guys that you know.
Yeah.
Pele.
Yes. And what I have to say about Pele, growing up in East LA around Mexicans my whole life, I was called Pele because I was black. And it was because Pele was such an iconic figure in the Hispanic community in East LA, East Los Angeles. I was not tough enough to play soccer. All my coaches were Mexican. My Little League baseball coach, Little League basketball, Little League football, all my coaches were Mexican, but I was never tough enough to play soccer because when I played soccer and people kicked me in my shins, I wanted to fight. And soccer was one of the toughest, most aggressive sports you can play. Pele, in my opinion, is the number one greatest athlete in the 20th century. It was Pele, Babe Ruth, Muhammad Ali are the three greatest icons in the history of sport in the world. Not just America, but the entire world. But Pele is number one. At the time, soccer, JJ, you've taught me a lot about soccer. I've learned the game of soccer, even though I became a football head because I wasn't tough enough to play soccer.
How about that?
It's a
Let's
global
pause
sport.
for a second, Ned, and just tell the world that you became a football player because soccer. You'd rather get hit by football players than play soccer.
Yeah, and I had coaches because I grew up in East LA, so you have to play soccer because I was in a Mexican neighborhood. All my friends were Mexican. One of my Richard Torres is one of my good friends from birth. I was there in East LA from the time I was 2 years old and we grew up in the same neighborhood in East LA, and he became he was a football player as well, but he was a phenomenal soccer player, became a great soccer player and coach at Cal State Los Angeles in Los Angeles. He plays golf all the time now, but he was a great soccer player. And so those guys were the guys that I kind of grew up with and learning the game. And, being the only black kid out there playing with all these Mexican kids, they would always call you chocolate, tabale pelota, chocolate, pele, throw the ball, kick the ball. And I wasn't very good at soccer. I mean, I could run, I was quick, but just wasn't good. I would get kicked in the shins all the time, and I just would want to fight all the time because I was getting kicked, and I just hated getting kicked and slid into and those kind of things. And so I was forced, to go play other sports, which was basketball, baseball, and football with all my friends. But Pele, and then winning the World Cup, I guess in the 70s in Mexico, in Mexico City was where the World Cup was what really threw him on, really put him on the map. But just an icon in the world of sport, and in my opinion, the greatest athlete of the 20th century, the most recognized athlete of the 20th century. And I'm talking Babe Ruth and Muhammad Ali, the great, just icons in the world as far as sport was concerned. But Pele, in that name, was just, it just resonated with everyone around the world because of his expertise in soccer and just how he just impacted so many people, whether it's South America or if it was Europe or if it was Asia or whatever. Pele was a household name and was considered the greatest player, a greatest athlete in the history of the world at that time because his name was synonymous with soccer, with football. His Pele in football was synonymous. There wasn't anybody else. I mean, you hear about the Maradonas, and the Lionel Messi's and all the guys, Ronaldo and all those guys, but Pele's name was synonymous with soccer. In the 20th century, just like Babe Ruth with baseball, Ali with boxing. He's one of the most iconic figures, and I think the world has just lost a great man, and it's just a testament to what he brought to everybody here in this world.
And there's still something, even if you're not a soccer fan or you don't like the game, there's something about the World Cup that still draws everyone in because it is. You don't get things like that. There's not the NFL Cup. There's not the NBA Cup. Yeah, the NFL, we all love it. It's the biggest sport in the country. It dominates. But worldwide events, that still resonates. And what you said about Pele being that crossover, playing for the New York Cosmos and being a star in the United States in the 70s, that tells you just how big he was in that sport. Talk about what he did in 1970, winning the World Cup in Mexico. I go back, 17-year-old scoring 2 goals in the World Cup. It's unbelievable, and it is something that resonates because I'll go back to just what we saw a couple weeks ago for that World Cup final, Argentina and France. I was in the airport in Dallas that morning, traveling, and the airport came to a standstill to watch that second half and in overtime. And it's not like all of us had skin in the game. There wasn't a bunch of Argentinians and people from France. It was just that sport, that moment, that magnitude. That's something that the World Cup does, and Pele was at the forefront of that, and he will always be remembered and very well put there. Ned James is an icon in the world of sport. It is the opening drive. A. Murray, our quarterback, Ned James. JJ Buck with you here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Dreamstyle Stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination.
Sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Cindietta, and JJ Buck.
The transfer portal and NIL. It's a world we live in when it comes to college athletics. It's changing the game, changing the way coaches have to deal with things, changing the pressure put on these programs. How fast can you win? Where's the money coming from? There's a couple quotes, one on NIL and one on the transfer portal that I got to run by you, Mr. Ned James, because they are fantastic. It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck, Amory, our quarterback, Ned James. And let's start with the transfer portal. And this is from Sam Pittman. He is the head coach at Arkansas. They just won a bowl game, a crazy game against Kansas the other night. But this was him speaking on the transfer portal. He said, if your wife wants to get in the portal, it's hard to bring her back. At some point, you're going, I'll go replace her. You kind of have to have that mindset, because then it becomes just, woe is me. Our mindset is whomever decides they'd like to do that, we certainly love them and want them to stay. But if they decide to go, then our mindset is we're going to go replace them. Fair comparison, right? When you're talking about your football players, and it's like, well, man, bringing her back if she wants to get in the transfer portal.
And we're sending our kids to these people. We're sending our young people to work with these adults here. It's just incredible. This is just free enterprise and capitalism at its worst, because the people who are, I would say, that are benefiting the most from this are the ones who are trying to, I guess, limit or kind of restrict player movement the most, and that's the coaches. You have to understand that these guys are making just ungodly sums of money in college athletics off of the backs of these players. Now, these players have no unions; they don't have agents, which these coaches have. They have some bargaining privileges that these young athletes. Some of them who are getting into the agent business now, with agents representing some of these players. These collectives, are they signing contracts? Are they binding contracts? There's state laws. There's attorneys. All these things, all these entities that are involved in these portals and these transfers, and all we're getting is sarcasm from the coaches, like this coach at Arkansas, the coach at Pitt. Everybody's.
I got one from Dabo Swinney. Everyone's
okay.
favorite Clemson.
Let's hear Dabo.
This is on the NIL. He said,
$100 million
we built
coach.
This program on NIL. We really did. And that's probably different than what you're thinking, though. We built this program on God's name, image, and likeness. That's how I look at it.
Well, yeah, when you're making $100 million, you can always, kind of defer to the man upstairs, because you have been blessed with the $100 million contract these coaches have, and now all of a sudden,
it's the golden kingdom indeed when you're Dabo Swinney in that contract.
Oh yes, and the fact that now you're going to have to share some of that with the guys who are most responsible for you earning that is something that the coaches don't want to hear. And it's interesting because college coaches have long criticized the NFL because of the fact quarterbacks have so much power and control because they make so much money. I could never coach a guy who makes more money than me. That's all I ever heard when I came back from the NFL to college, and just dealing with college coaches. The fact they didn't really respect the coaching and the fact you have to work with another person on the same level. It was more about how do you have control over someone who makes more money than you. And so now, if I'm a quarterback at Clemson, I'm asking for $10 million a season. Why not? Dabo Swinney, you're using the Lord name now, okay? But were you using the Lord when you were negotiating this $100 million contract? No, you weren't. You were trying to get the most money that you could possibly get. And so these collectives now, they have these collectives with millions of dollars in them. I'm just a little leery because it's free market enterprise. There's no representation. There's no union for these young men. Where do they go? If somehow, some way, they're not producing, and the coach decides to cut off their payments and say, okay, we're going to just let you. You're going to have to earn this money somehow. If you don't do certain things, If you don't do certain things, we're going to force you out. And so it's just one of those things that we're going to have to wait and see what happens, as we move forward through this NIL
world. But what can it get you? And get you some good players right away and get you going. It's the opening drive. 505-246-0610 is the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. Grady, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Grady?
Soon to be New Year's Eve revelers of the OD and the AM. What's happening?
What's good, man?
Real quick on the NIL stuff, and I think those are great points. Interestingly enough, I really boil it down to when coaches are pushing back and being jerks about it. It's a poor craftsman who blames his tool, and if your only tool that you had to recruit and or be successful is being able to ruin a 17, 18-year-old kid's life or future versus not being able to work with some kid that's getting compensated, that's on you. If Dabo Swinney's, if he can't adapt to this new landscape, if Nick Saban can't adapt to this new landscape, then that's on them. You're going to see new coaches, new blood, men and women who are actually not intimidated by kids who actually have some choice and some freedom, and they're going to build programs that attract kids. And it's not solely going to be on NIL. So interesting stuff. So I'm very anxious to see how it plays out. And like I said, I'm not necessarily a big fan of NIL, and the biggest reason is the NIL money. That's not where the big money is. It's the TV contracts and all that, and the NCAA totally sidestepped being able to or having to share that money with the athletes, and now they're reaping what they've sown. So as Edward said earlier, those chickens have come home to roost. And with that, just want to jump in here in the last show of the year and just talk about being grateful and appreciative of you guys, of allowing me to get on the air and talk about the little village up here up north and all the exploits that we have and all the fun, the Hall of Famers, the text lines, those types of things. Even those folks that call and text and email with those horrible rocks that we continue to water, it all makes the show the show. And regardless of if it's about local sports, it's a community. And anywhere you can have a vibrant, lively community, that's great. That's a good thing, regardless. So again, I appreciate that. And a quick note about the village up north. The boys basketball just won the Stu Clark tournament up in Vegas with the win over Bernalillo last night. So my guy Sebastian Noel talked about a steak dinner, and while we're out just a 2A squad.
Pecos feeling good.
Yeah, I tell you what, of our 10 wins, I do believe 5 are against 4A squads. So we'll accept that challenge. So we'll be down there in Albuquerque, hoping to keep it close down there in January. So again, I do appreciate all of you. I appreciate what's happening. Even my guy Les, I appreciate everyone, and it's something that, again, it makes my life better. It makes the state better, and again, appreciate the hard work. You guys, please be safe. Have a happy new year, and talk to you guys next year.
Appreciate it. Grady up there in the small village, Pecos, New Mexico. Pecos Panthers, boys basketball, Stu Clark, invitational champs. Congratulations. And I believe it's, the 17th? January 17th, that game. Of course, our guy, Sebastian Will, ProView Networks, Del Norte alum. Grady, Pecos, boy playing basketball there. So that's what their eyes are on that game.
Those are the only two schools I know, Cibola and Pecos High School. Those are the only schools I've ever talked about. I don't really talk about any other schools. I guess because of Pecos, there was a junior.
Rudy, good morning, man. You're on the opening drive. What's going on, Rudy?
Good morning. Well, Ned James' story is today, okay? So I remember Ned when he played quarterback at UNM, and Jolie Dunn, I think, and Ned's going to correct me if my memory fades because I'm getting old, but Billy Rucker was the starting quarterback. He got hurt. We were 0-4, and there's Ned James drawing plays in the dirt, running around, just making things happen. And Ned, I don't remember how we ended up, but I think we won 4 of the next 6 games. Is that right?
I can't remember. I've been hit in the head too many times, but I do remember coming in for Billy, played wide receiver a little bit, and then came in and started playing some quarterback after Billy got hurt. We both kind of switched off the first year I was here, and then the second year he got hurt, and then I came in and played the rest of the year. That's kind of how it ended.
I think Ned would have played linebacker if they had asked him. I might be.
Oh, no, I couldn't play defense. UCLA recruited me as a DB, and I said I'd never tackled anybody in my life. I've been a quarterback my whole life, so it was tough to play defense.
Well, we're playing musical lyrics this morning, so I have one from the Grateful Dead, and it goes, when life looks like Easy Street, there's danger at your door. And I hope that that's what the Lobo basketball team thinks about when they head up to Wyoming, because that's not an easy place to play, and they're thick in their national ranking and 13-0 on the line. And that would be a bad loss, right, if they happen to lose that game. But I really like this team, and I think they have found a way to play, and I really think that they're going to stay undefeated. And then they go to Fresno State, and I have a prediction. If they win those 2 games, I think we'll start that tradition again of meeting the team at the airport when they return home. Remember those days, JJ?
Yeah, it's been a minute since fans have wanted to make that trek to welcome a team at the airport.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid begging my dad to go watch the Lobos plane land. And those were the old days when you could just drive your car up to the, to the airplane and watch them get off the plane. Those days are long gone. But I remember the first time we did that when the Lobo team in 67, 68 was so good. And so those days are back, and I think that's my wish for the coming years, that this Lobo train just keeps going, and somehow they break that magical 17-0 mark and become the new standard bearer for Lobo basketball. And meanwhile, I think the women are off and running, and we'll see how they do in the conference. So you guys have a safe New Year's, and we'll see you next year.
I appreciate the phone call. Rudy, you got in 246-0610. Felix, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Felix?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Hey, I have a question for Ned, and then about the Derek Carr situation, or the Raiders situation with Derek Carr, especially from the management standpoint. I want to hear about that, and then just kind of another question: what happened to the decibel meter in the pit? But anyway, I want to hear about the Raiders situation. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I just think, not playing to win the game is just a bad look. They have to give him $30 million guaranteed next year. If he gets hurt during this year, his salary is guaranteed for next season. So they're trying to hold him out, banking on the fact that they're going to probably either release him or trade him or do something to not have him as their quarterback next season, because they think they've seen enough, and they think, moving forward they're going to have to, maybe make a change from him. I was just disappointed because I don't necessarily believe it's Derek Carr. I didn't condone what John Gruden did, but I think John Gruden's one of the top offensive minds, offensive coordinators in the NFL. And with John Gruden, they're a playoff team. They would have done much better this year had they had a guy like a John Gruden as the coordinator. I don't think Josh McDaniels gets enough of the blame here. It's just my opinion. It may not be true. I mean, Josh may be a great coach, McDaniels. I just don't see it. The fact that they're not able to get to the playoffs when they were a playoff team last year. I think that had a lot to do with why they made this decision. Owner is probably not one of the wealthiest owners in the NFL, so he's probably looking at the bottom line, which I don't think is a good thing right now. I think you got to get the coaching right. But you're losing a quarterback who was a Pro Bowl quarterback, and those guys aren't easy to replace. And we're going to see what happens moving forward with the Raiders.
Derek Carr, Matthew Stafford 2.0. Someone is going to be feeling very good about their next starting quarterback next year. Maybe it's in Carolina, the Tennessee Titans, or maybe the Miami Dolphins could be in the market. But Derek Carr could step into a really nice situation with a team that just needs a little bit more of a spark at the quarterback position. And looking at those teams, quarterbacks are going to rule the day tomorrow. Will we see someone put their super suit on? CJ Stroud, Max Duggan. How do these underdogs knock off the favorites in the college football playoff? It's the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
Safe to say that anybody who was worried about Josh Allen and the Bills can stop worrying about
Young, here's one up off the rim. Jarek Dudahl with that shot, and Mask underneath. Defense is not there in time. Good move by Justin Mask.
Well, first. Nice pass. That's working that flex offense right there. And there's another timeout for Coach Bardella.
Montez scans the scene, finds the corner, shot is up. Ooh, there's another one. Aris, that's 9 for Aris as she's hit.
And Coach Segura said there have been some injuries on preps as far as the players, so maybe he's playing zone right now.
Fights 3 is good. Jackson Fight knocks it down for the left side, from the left side for the Sun Devils. They lead by 10.
They're playing.
A perfect 36 on his ACT composite. Big 3! Buried in by Dylan McCleskey.
Trifectas of her own. Fires it off down low. Campos off the glass, and there it is.
Quick this shot. They got a shot up with 5 seconds. Transition 3 is up, and it's hit at the buzzer by Ian Koenigsberg. Picture perfect execution. Ball it hit the ground in 5 seconds.
Ball is stolen away by Montoya. Sartans are on the break. Calb finds Trujillo. Pump fake. Trujillo was rejected by Terrell. Rebounded by Calb. Hook shot is up. It's good. 2 points for Brian Calb.
Go one-on-one, and this is good things usually have. Oh, great.
A.J. Rivera. I think the story in this one is the pressure defense that has turned up. They force another turnover. Calb's on the break.
Throw it down.
Calb puts it down. Brian Calb with the dunk in transition.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth.
Quarterbacks are going to need their super suits this weekend.
Super suit.
Super suits. C.J. Stroud, Max Duggan, college football playoff.
Can't wait.
Will there be a new king of college football? If Georgia goes back-to-back, take a back seat Nick Saban. It's Kirby Smart's world.
Uh-oh.
Because Kirby Smart, yeah, he has a Heisman Trophy candidate at quarterback position. But he ain't working with no first-round pick. There's no Tua Tagovailoa. There's no Bryce Young out there. Bulldogs are stacked. And C.J. Stroud is going to need every one of those five-star athletes on the perimeter to try to challenge this Georgia Bulldogs team. College football playoffs are upon us tomorrow. And I want to see something, but I'm worried, man. I'm worried that Michigan is going to trounce TCU, and there's not going to be a game. And I think this is setting up for what will be a great national championship game with Michigan and Georgia going toe-to-toe power old-school football between those teams. But can the flashy, explosive C.J. Stroud, Max Duggan quarterbacks create against these defenses?
One of the things that's interesting to me, and you hear me talk, JJ, you've heard me the last 5 years talk about this, Texas. When you got Texas kids, it's a little bit different. And now with the NILs, and because TCU, I mean, Michigan is a behemoth. I mean, those Big Ten schools are 50,000 students. These are large campuses. TCU is a small, private, 7,000 student university in Fort Worth, Texas. But you have the same number of kids on scholarship. You have NILs. You have, same limited number of kids on your roster, 120 something kids total, walk-ons, whether you're giving them financial assistance or not. So you got the same numbers. But boy, do I like these kids out of Texas. I like Texas football players. And so we'll see. We'll see if Michigan has enough to mow over the likes of TCU, which they should. But I'm curious to see how TCU plays in this game. And it'll be interesting to see. I know Michigan's favored, but I just want to see how that one turns out. And on the Georgia side, I just know how great a recruiting hotbed that Southern Georgia, North Florida high school football is. And so Georgia, with the talent they have, in Ohio State with the offensive skill, it should be fun to watch. But Georgia, I just think is just loaded. So we'll see.
I think Jalen Carter, their defensive lineman, probably the best player in college football right now. Potentially in the top 3 pick in the NFL draft. I think it's the difference, man. Georgia is just playing power football. You got an efficient quarterback in that offense, and the explosiveness of Ohio State. Are they going to be able to do that? Because I keep going back to that Tennessee game for Georgia. When Hendon Hooker came in, Tennessee, explosive offense, and Georgia handled them. Now, there might be a little, as we were talking with Jerry Palm yesterday at CBS Sports, a few more stars with the wide receivers at Ohio State, and that's going to be the game. If C.J. Stroud, he's going to have to create explosive plays over and over and over, because that Georgia team, they're going to do exactly what Michigan wants to do. They'll line up, play power football, and we just watched Michigan beat Ohio State pretty badly on the ground. Are they going to be able to change that in time for this game? Because they've sat there, they got lucky. They got a break after losing to Michigan to get back in the CFP. So this is their opportunity, a ton of pressure on Ryan Day. And then on the other side for Jim Harbaugh, who just a couple years ago, we're talking, is he going to get a contract extension? Is Michigan going to move on? He's flirting with the Minnesota Vikings this past offseason, and here he is again in the college football playoff, and he has the team to get by TCU. Max Duggan has been unbelievable, but it's just hard for me to see the Horned Frogs. Even with you saying, it's the Texas kids, but it's hard for me to see the Horned Frogs holding up in that game tomorrow. It's going to be interesting, too, because we're seeing, really C.J. Stroud is the only quarterback we're talking about next-level guy tomorrow. So this is a big opportunity for him.
Right.
Because when we're looking at the draft, we're talking about Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama, Will Levis, the quarterback from Kentucky's getting a lot of run, and then it's C.J. Stroud. So he's the one guy everyone's saying is an NFL dude. Well, now it's an opportunity to show it.
Yeah, and you got to show it on the largest stage, because that's where everybody's going to be looking the hardest, and that's where they're going to be critiquing the hardest. So it'll be interesting to see how CJ holds up against this formidable Georgia defense. And it's like anything. Defense is where you win games. I mean, you can't turn the ball over. If you turn the ball over, it's going to be a long day for Ohio State, and you're not going to be able to just drop back in the pocket and hold that ball and look for wide open receivers. You're going to have to get rid of that ball. You're going to have an efficient running game if you're going to have any chance of beating this stout Georgia team.
505-246-0610 and 377 Brewery hotline and text line this morning. Cliff, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Cliff?
Good morning, guys.
How you doing?
Cliff's 377 Brewery owner.
Oh, what's up, Cliff?
Hey, Cliff.
Hey, I'm grateful for you guys. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful the men's basketball team's going to do it, but don't forget the women. Don't forget all the other sports. We have a tendency to forget all that. So I'm just grateful I'm still alive. I've had a crazy life.
We are happy to have you a part of this show, and that place was popping the other night, and I cannot wait to get out there and hang out with y'all, Anne-Marie, and all those Lobo
Next
fans.
one's January 7th, Cliff, right?
Yes,
And,
yes.
hey.
Please come out. Marie, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much.
Hey, Cliff, and we learned from the first one that this is a good problem to have. These fans are ready to rock, and you're going to have more bartenders on deck, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I look forward to that. You guys, coming into the new year, man, be safe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Cliff.
Thanks, Cliff. 377 Brewery.
Yeah, check it
Can't
out.
wait.
Next one's January 7th.
Yes, UNLV game. We got to win that one. My buddy's son plays for UNLV, and I got to have some bragging rights from
You need
somebody.
some football
Let's
season.
go. We need
That
it.
James lost a lot of bets.
Yes, I'm losing. I'm
for
losing.
football.
Yes,
So he
'cause
needs the basketball team to make up some ground for
Yes.
him. And
My Lobo football betting didn't go well this year.
So, a lot of pressure, but I liked what Rudy said about Lobo basketball. They're on the road at Wyoming, Laramie, the AA, Arena Auditorium. Yeah, that's a different place, man. We're up there in Laramie, Wyoming. They're the hunted now. All the pressure on the Lobos. Big stretch at Wyoming, at Fresno State. They're going to be favored in both games. Keep the consistency. Keep it going. I think this is going to be an Uncle Mo and Josiah All-Sick game on Saturday. Get back inside.
One thing Rudy said that I'll have to, really kind of expound on is the meeting at the airport. One of the things I always remembered about playing, and we played against Nebraska, and it was a 14-7 game at half, and we came close, and they were really good at the time. But I always remembered coming back from that trip, and there's people at the airport cheering for. That's one of the things you get in New Mexico that I think it keeps a lot of the guys here that were former players. I know I played 40 years ago, but just guys, just remembering the love you get from the community when you come back from a road trip. There's people at the airport. You don't get that in a lot of other cities. You get it in New Mexico, and when Rudy said that his parents used to take him to the airport, it just reminded me of that. And I remember coming back from that Nebraska, and I was just amazed because we lost the game. I mean, they kind of eventually rolled us in the second half, but just to have those fans come out to the airport and meet you after a game was just something special, and I think it's great. I think that's the uniqueness. That's what gets people, keeps the athletes here at University of New Mexico, and brings a lot of people here to the state of New Mexico and to enjoy this city.
That can't be right. 40 years ago, Ned?
Well, 35, 36, something like that.
Do you know the crazy thing?
What?
It's 2 years away from being 40 years ago in 1985. You feel old yet. 'Cause
So you set me up, is what you're saying.
You're speaking of feeling old. How about a 49-year-old wide receiver? You need a third down conversion. You need a touchdown. He's available to sign, and he is.
I love me some T.O.
Yeah, I love me some T.O. as well.
Available, and Did the Dallas Cowboys almost do this? No, they couldn't have.
It's a Jerry Jones thing, if
man.
ever.
It is the opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Remember when sports talk used to be fun? So do we.
NBA.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about. We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Too bad he's making a couple plays, big-time catches for the Dallas Cowboys. Win and move on. That's what they did last night. But someone was trying to get signed before T.Y. Hilton. And could we see a 49-year-old wide receiver in the NFL? Tom Brady's still playing. Why the heck not? It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ Buck-Amory, our quarterback, Ned James. Now, this is the classic who is talking to who scenario, because Terrell Owens, T.O., baby, get your popcorn ready. That's my quarterback. T.O. back in the news, and it feels like, it's kind of just Terrell Owens doing this as opposed to teams. But one of Terrell Owens' representatives said to NFL reporter Dov Kleeman that we've been in constant communication with Jerry Jones' office over the last few days about the possibility of him returning to the Cowboys, said Terrell is ready to contribute and play any role, big or small. He's in outstanding shape. He looks no different than he did years ago. I watched him running routes full speed with Deshaun Jackson. He looked great. He didn't drop a pass. Now, reports are that his demands were a little bit too much for the Dallas Cowboys to meet. But even Jerry Jones, as crazy as he is, there's no way he would have brought back Terrell Owens. Right, Ned James?
My Terrell Owens story, Senior Bowl, God, it's a long time ago, 1994, somewhere around there, 95. We had Terrell Owens at the Senior Bowl. So I've got Amani Toomer from Michigan. I've got Bobby Ingram from Penn State. We've got Derek Mays from Notre Dame. Terrell Owens didn't play until the fourth quarter of that game because we had such good players. But I just recall us having before dinner meal in the lounge area or a banquet area because they were keeping us away from all the pro teams and all the coaches that were at the Senior Bowl. And I just recall Terrell Owens begging me to help him find a place to work out. He says, I'm fiending for some weights, Ned. I need some weights. I need some, something somewhere so I can lift. Well, all the other guys were just worried about eating. He was worried about training. Now, he was a 22-year-old kid from UT Chattanooga, a little small college in southern Tennessee. And he, at that time, was a project kid because a lot of people didn't know a whole lot about him. And, we missed drafting him because we were going to take him in the third round. The 49ers picked ahead of us. But I always remembered his work ethic. That's the one thing I always remembered about him. I talked to him in the Pro Bowl when I coached in the Pro Bowl one year, and he was there. And Jerry Rice was on our team. And Jerry Rice was taking every single rep in the Pro Bowl. It's just something about these guys who have this special ability to train and keep themselves in shape that's different than other people. And so I'm not saying he could play wide receiver in the NFL today, but I am saying that there is something special about guys who just train and want to work out and keep their bodies in tip-top shape all the time, and their ability to kind of defy the odds when it comes to playing professional sports.
Yeah, I think T.O., he got a little bit of a bad rap as a diva wide receiver because sitting there doing crunches and the parking lot and all that stuff. But when it came down to it on the football field, that dude had a tremendous career. And I go back to the Super Bowl run he had with the Eagles. He was pretty much playing on a broken leg at that time, going out there making plays in the postseason. So I don't know if a 49-year-old Terrell Owens can help you anymore as he's just trying to reach out to all these teams.
It makes us old guys feel good.
You want a paycheck too, but that is T.O. When he was on the field, he was that dude.
When you're 50 years old, it ain't about the paycheck. It's something else going on in your head. I mean, you may have a few screws loose or something, but it ain't about the money. I don't think he needs the money. I mean, maybe he does, but at the same time, to put your body through that, what you're going to have to put yourself through to go out there and play, be productive in a young man's game, a young man's world, it'll be something. But, I just admire the guy. I've always liked him. I mean, he used to be humbler. Back when I knew him, he's a little different now. But at the same time, you respect and you admire guys who really have worked their tails off to be in the position that they're in. And you have to give them, you got to take your hat off to a guy who wants to do that in his 50s and be able to go up against these young guys at his age.
505-246-0610, the 377 Brewery hotline and text line. Marty wants to talk about T.O. What's going on, Marty?
Hey, well, I mean, whatever he's doing is working because you guys are talking about him. So I think that's more of what T.O. likes. Maybe that's what you miss, right? Is you miss the limelight, the spotlight more than anything. I don't know if you put a value to that once you get it. I think you earn that may be the reason why Tom Brady doesn't call it quits, right? He probably, the self-ego, he misses that. He likes for people to talk about him. He likes for it's a psychological thing, I think maybe that's what you miss when you step away from something. But I mean, as far as the age thing, I mean, we got fighters, and that's fighting. It's football. You protect it, and everybody says it's a rough game, but the way I see it is you got pads on and stuff. rough game is when you get pounded in the face with bare fist. That's a rough game. But you got older fighters that are still fighting. You know, you had a lot of boxers that fought well into their 40s. So I know we put an age thing to everything, but maybe he's got it. I did see him run. I think it was a 40, and he still looked pretty athletic to me. But I know how it is. And, you know, he's played so many years, and I know how the salary. I'm sure they have to probably pay him a league minimum for all his years and time and all that good stuff. But who knows? I mean, T.O. was an exciting player. Maybe part of him too, he never won a championship, so that's probably what he would love to win, but maybe he sees an opportunity. But on the flip side, though, the Cowboys are cheap. I think we have to get away from this notion that the Cowboys are these big spenders and they take that was a long time ago. When Stephen Jones took over the team, if you know the Cowboys, they are cheap. They'll have to spend on a quarterback because they have to, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Pollard walks. I would not be shocked at all. The Cowboys don't spend on certain positions, and they rely on the draft, and they don't rely on free agency. I wish they did sometimes, because last year I thought if they went after Von Miller, they could have been the Rams instead of the Rams, and they didn't. So just a little footnote there that we need to get away from that idea that the Cowboys and Jerry Jones are these. They're not. They haven't been for a long time.
Marty, appreciate the phone call. That's interesting. Because you started talking about Tony Pollard, weren't there are a lot of people upset that they paid Ezekiel Elliott so much money, and here we go again talking about paying another running back money, and there's a balance to that. Yeah. And with Von Miller, was it necessarily at that point in time? We're talking last year. You're trading for Von Miller, the draft capital question, as opposed to or signing him in the offseason. He did get a nice paycheck from Buffalo.
One thing I think fans kind of make a mistake with when they're talking about people like Tom the Cheater Brady and Terrell Owens and people who are competitive athletes at elite levels, what got them there, how they got there, they kind of dismiss the fact that they think it's the limelight that they're looking for. You don't even when you're a player. I'm just speaking for myself maybe, and I kind of understand pro guys a little bit. When you're in it, you're not really thinking about the limelight. You're just a competitive athlete who enjoys what you're doing. It's like any work that you enjoy. You get a bigger rise out of the excitement of actually being in the moment and competing. Sometimes guys don't even listen to the fans. I mean, I just remember my sisters used to get real upset with me at games because you don't even hear people in the stands when you're playing, when you're in it. And I think you get more excitement out of the victory, out of winning and succeeding and being successful, and the process of getting to where you're able to compete. It's not so much you like the adulation of the fans, and so much as you enjoy the competition of winning and being successful at something that you really think that you've earned based on your hard work and your passion and love for that particular thing that you do.
Yeah, it's the competition, the camaraderie. You hear that a lot from athletes when they step away from it. They say they miss the locker room. They miss that drive.
Oh, yeah.
It is. It's interesting, especially when you look at someone like Tom Brady and how we've broken down not just Tom Brady, the football player, but his life this season, because they've kind of gone side by side with coming back to play football and then everything else that happened with him off the football field. But for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the question is, can your backup quarterback assist in case of a water landing? Bucks got a quarterback that can help out. It's opening drive here at 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This is John.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also.
Can your backup quarterback assist in an emergency water landing? Buccaneers got you covered. A helicopter went down in the water off of Davis Island. That's near Tampa Bay Thursday evening. There are 4 people on the chopper as it went down, and they were quickly approached by 2 jet skis as the folks were trying to get out of the helicopter, treading water at the time. And one of those people involved, Blaine Gabbert, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback, showed up on a jet ski. They assisted the people to land. All 4 on the chopper made it out. The family was together. And how about that timing? It's just Blaine Gabbert sees something going on, hops on a jet ski, and turns in to a dude who, guess what, was wearing a super suit.
That's right.
Saved some people in the chopper going down.
Save some people from being alligator bait, because when you're in Florida, the gators are out. So it was great that he was able to be there and assist, because that could be a sticky situation for a lot of different reasons in the Everglades down there in those swamps and places down there in Tampa Bay. But Blaine Gabbert, good deed.
Look at that, Blaine Gabbert getting it done. Now the question for the Buccaneers is, can they get it done against the Carolina Panthers this weekend? It's opening drive here on 95.9 FM, AM 610, The Sports Animal. JJ Buck, A. Marie, our quarterback, Ned James. Thank you for hanging out with us. Final show 2022 this morning here on the opening drive, and just marquee games this weekend. Playoff spots on the line. And that Carolina-Tampa Bay game, it's insane that we're talking about the Carolina Panthers, who started the season, Baker Mayfield. They played P.J. Walker. Now here they are with Sam Darnold. Steve Wilkes, I think, should get serious consideration to be the head coach of this football team because of the way that they're playing, they're physical, they're buying in. And how in the world, Ned James, are we talking about a Sam Darnold-led Carolina team being in this spot against Tom Brady and Tampa Bay with the division on the line in Week 17?
It's a great story. I mean, it's, if you have to play all the games. It's hard to win games in NFL. You got professional athletes. These guys aren't pros just because they are terrible football players and they have a bad season. No, they're talented athletes. And so whenever you go into a game, and it's chemistry, a lot of times people don't realize it's culture and chemistry. And I poke fun at Bill Belichick and the New England Cheetahs, all that sort of stuff, but the culture there creates this environment where they're able to win a lot. You can criticize people all you want, but at the end of the day, if they're winning, it's for a reason. There's a reason why they're winning. You can make fun of the Dallas Cowboys, but they're winning. Minnesota, they're winning. All it comes down to at the end is, can you win? It's a salary cap, so everybody has an equal opportunity there. Where you decide to place your finances are irrelevant, because everybody's got paid players and everybody's good. Not everybody's great, but everybody's good on a week-to-week basis. So it's what makes the NFL, the greatest sport in America, because everybody's on equal footing and everyone has a chance to win every single week.
How about Sunday Night Football? The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. So the Baltimore Ravens, they're playing, just treading water until Lamar Jackson gets back. They're 2.5-point favorites at home over the Pittsburgh Steelers, who still have an outside shot. They're one of those 7-8 teams in the AFC wildcard race, because Miami, they got to go deal with New England with Teddy Bridgewater as their quarterback this weekend. But the big thing here for Baltimore is keep finding a way to win these games, because the difference between being the 5th seed or the 6th seed in the AFC, Ned James, if you're the 5th seed, you get either Jacksonville or Tennessee. Yeah, you got to go on the road, but that would be a lot better than having to play one of Buffalo, Kansas City, or Cincinnati in the first round if you're 6th or 7th seed. So a ton of pressure on the Baltimore Ravens to try to maintain that spot in the AFC, because I think you even with Trevor Lawrence being on fire recently, I think you take your chances in a first-round matchup at Jacksonville as opposed to playing one of those other teams.
Absolutely. I mean, those other teams are good for a reason. I don't necessarily agree that it's just the quarterbacks that they're good. You've got to be good all around, and you're playing good teams. And so it's always a challenge when you're playing good teams, particularly in the playoffs, because it's going to be tight. And so you can't afford to make any mistakes or any slip-ups. or else you're one and done.
One and done. 505-246-0610. Mud, you're on the opening drive. What's going on, Mud?
Nothing much. How you guys doing, man?
Doing good, man. What's up?
Nothing, man. I'm just calling to say, the Lobos are gonna end out the new year with the win. I expect every away game where they play to have a sellout, man. I mean, I think the Lobos are going to be playing sellout crowds all over, man. UNLV, Wyoming, you name it. And the Cowboys did good last night, man. I know Ned Jacobs is a Cowboy fan. I know that the Cowboys are going to take it this year, man. Hopefully Super Bowl, right, Ned?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a good chance. They got a good chance.
They do.
I like their odds this year. JJ, I always try to figure things out early, but I still can't figure out the McCarthy Dak Prescott thing. And if I could, I would give them a better chance. But that's going to be key if those two can figure it out, because they're pretty good on defense and special teams. We'll see what happens.
All right, who clinches this weekend? Do the Giants get it done over Jeff Saturday in the Indianapolis Colts? Because that would solidify one of those spots
yikes.
in the NFC.
Okay.
Yes.
Giants 5.5-point home favorites over the Colts.
Yes.
The Commanders at home against the Browns.
Oh, man.
The Commanders are playing good. I just don't like them, for personal reasons.
I also don't like that they just
but they're playing good.
Wins. I just don't. It's kind of disrespectful to Taylor Heineke, in my opinion.
That's a tough game against San Francisco.
And I'm like, and he's rusty. He hasn't played since week 6, and then Taylor Heineke's been getting the job done.
Taylor, I think we've seen his ceiling though.
I know, but at this point though, you think Carson Wentz is going to come in and clinch a game for you? No, you keep Taylor Heineke.
I think Heineke against the Browns.
That's what pisses me off.
Would make you feel better.
I've always liked. My opinion. I've always liked Carson Wentz, even though
I like Carson Wentz too. But
this is a tough situation to come into.
Week to come into week 17.
Week 17, we'll be back.
Woo! Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
23. Ned James, thank you so much for all you do, hanging out with us in the morning.
You're the best, Ned James.
That's awesome. Appreciate
you guys.
Man.
Are
Happy
awesome.
New Year. Safe weekend to you out there with your family, Amory. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're great.
You're great.
It's been fun. Adrian, awesome work. Appreciate you on ProView Networks. Thank you to everyone that tunes in and hangs out with us in the morning as well. We got the Jim Rome Show coming up next. And then it's a bowl game, folks. We got the Sun Bowl, Pitt and UCLA, which will take you up into 2 minutes, and they'll take over when that game is done, everybody. Happy New Year. Medal of peace and love. We'll talk to you in 2023.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Here at Clark's Pets, we understand your pets. We take meticulous time to find out more about them. Dig deep into their world to understand their needs. We do research for knowledge of each pet, so you can trust Clark's Pets to provide you the best products and service for your pets, because we work hard to understand all of their needs. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.